Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the AQ Worlds News. We got a lot to talk about this week, so let's go over it. Okay, so something interesting was posted to the AQ Worlds subreddit. Go join that if you haven't. It's actually one of the larger top 3% subreddits. It used to be like no one used it at all for the longest time until like maybe 5 years ago or something. Anyway, lying about the source, which is an interesting name. I looked at this. It looks legit. I don't know. But maybe take it just based on the guy's username that posted this. Maybe taking it with a grain of salt, but it does look very legitimate. So there seems to be a listing for Artix Entertainment's offices in Florida, where they live and work, of course. 12,000 square feet. I did not know their office was so large. So if you'd like to rent it out, it seems like it's up for rent on this website here. And it's only around $330,000 a year to rent out this space. To be fair to that price, though, it is a lot of space, and it looks very good. Like if you've never seen their offices, they're actually in game. By the way, if you want to see, there's an in-game version of this, because of course there is. But it's what the real version of it looks like. You see, they got balconies and stuff. Actually, a really swank office that looks really nice. I'm not a huge fan of the industrial ceilings personally with interior design, but it's an office space, so whatever. They got the whole floor plan here as well, like massive place. I didn't know it was so big. But anyway, that's for rent. So what they're probably either doing is, I mean, we're just guessing, but they're probably downsizing to a smaller place, since they're not as large of a company as they were in the past, like peak 2008 to 2012 era. AQ Worlds is not really like that anymore, so understandable. I think the only physical space they need for anything work-wise is probably the Hero Mart stuff, and they could do that out of a smaller rented like warehouse space. They don't need a massive office space like this to do that. Although working in an actual office with other people is probably better for the game as a whole, and maybe they're moving to a smaller office, who knows. But I'm sure we'll get an official word on this eventually. If they ever actually do move to a different space or whatever, they'll probably let us know eventually, but they don't have to. Like, they share way too much as it is as a game company. But yeah, just thought it was interesting that someone found this, and I thought I'd share it here. Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, the brand new class, which apparently takes a long time to farm, like 40 something. It could take upwards of 40 hours to farm the new class if you're not doing the insignias. So my recommendation would only to do the insignias. I would not do the normal farm for that. I might actually just start doing the insignias instead to get the class, if it turns out to be meta of any sort, which it might be with these new buffs. So if you look at this, stuff like the full duration got massively increased from 45 seconds to 120, 22 to 122, so an extra 100 seconds on that. Yeah, so damage resistance by 40. They reduce the amount of damage reduction that you're doing to your, I think this is to yourself, by half there on those stacks. Like, so they're upping the damage quite a bit, lowering the amount of damage you're taking, increasing stuff like the HOT. So it's looking like a really good all-around buff for the class. So it's looking like they moved a bunch of numbers up. They kind of changed how it works with more damage throughout instead of it all like nuking at the end after like a minute and a half of stacking. You get more consistent damage throughout that time if you're using it, not just at the end there, so that's good. A lot of good changes, so you can read through this if you'd like. Of course, I'll leave this link down below like I do every week with everything I'm talking about, including the last Reddit thread if you want to read that as well. Read comments and stuff on that thread. But yeah, so yeah, interesting, good buff. If you have the class, let me know in the comments how you're liking it. I read a few comments on social media and stuff. It seems like people are liking this buff quite a bit. Don't know how it stacks up against other classes. I think time will tell for that, whether or not people are going to actually want to be using this over other ones. You'll see in your lobbies what people are actually using and whether or not they prefer this over other classes. So we'll have to wait and see for that, but it does look like a good change. While I was recording, they uploaded a armor conversion test thing for AQ Worlds Infinity, so the new game. So a little update for the new game. It's kind of nice to see. I haven't read through this yet, so let's see what's in it. Alright, so they're doing an armor conversion for all of the armors. I think we knew about this from previous weeks as well. I've been posting about this for a little bit. They say that the armors might not look super great, so do not get too excited yet. We must both remain cautiously hopeful this test produces equipable versions of most existing armors. 16,000 armors to be converted. It is actually 8,300, but there's female and male versions of both. I've never actually thought about that. Yeah, it actually does just double the amount of armors, because a lot of times like female male versions of armors will look completely different. So it is actually just double for that. Well over 1 million files total for all of the armors in the game, and that is without the animations, customization, none of the fancy pants stuff, which I think is a reference that Artix is making to a different Flash game, which you can actually buy fancy pants on Steam if you remember playing that back in the day. So, all right, I read through the rest of the post. It's a bunch of dev mumbo jumbo. You can read it if you want. It's not really it's not going to be pertinent to like anything you probably care about, but yeah, feel free to pause the video and read it, or click the link down below in the description. And about sharing too much that I mentioned earlier, there's a funny little story there as well that I'm not going to waste your time reading through, but yeah, let's move on. May 4th is coming up, and AQ Worlds for the past quite a few years now has been doing an event for Star Wars related things there. So we got a few different characters here from Black Star here. The Black Star, very cool helmet designs. Little beard. Beards are pretty rare, so that's good to see if you like having a bearded character. Kind of lightsaber designs there as well, which are different. They look pretty interesting. So yeah, check that out. That's pretty nice. Along with that, we got another addition to the Axeros set here. So we saw this last week. Very cool design. And it looks like it's getting more dark and themed style masks and all of that. Part of that set. Tyronious with a very, very dark looking outfit. Almost looks like a mob sort of thing that, yeah, it looks like a creature you'd fight in an event more than something you'd want to wear on your character. But hey, maybe some people want to wear this stuff. Also, if that's a ground rune, that's crazy big. So yeah, some more dark stuff. It looks like with this one, the Axeros set, we're probably going to see more Darken content pretty soon, like more Darken Saga type stuff, which is weird because, you know, I thought the Darken Saga ended. What are they doing with? I don't know what they're doing with that, but I guess they're continuing that on. They're doing more of that. It might be that period, like remember when the 13 Lords of Chaos Saga ended? They kind of just like they kept going with it because they really didn't know where else to go for a while. It feels like we're kind of doing that with the Darken Saga now. Just a thought though, that might not be the actual case. Anyway, Valentine with the Zodiac signs. These are all different theme sets around the Zodiac signs, of course. A few of these have released already, and there will be more in game. None of this stuff will be rare or anything. It's all seasonal gear that they're going to be added to the game. But yeah, some cool hairstyles and stuff there if you want to pick those up. Some outfits to go along with them. That one's very Genshin Impact looking, the blue outfits there. So yeah. Also, this outfit from Seffy, this concept got a little bit more detail and stuff, and you got all going in a cup and stuff. So yeah, very cute. So yeah. Alright, that's all the news we got for this week. Not a whole lot of like new sets and stuff getting posted on Twitter, like just kind of a slow week. But hey, we got the class update. Artix Entertainment's might be moving office, or maybe just work from home, or who knows what they're doing with that situation. Hey, go rent their office. You got $300K a year, and you need 12,000 square feet. Go for it. Anyway, big thanks to the channel members for supporting the channel. Really appreciate that. Hit the like button. That's free. You can support the channel that way as well. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.